Hey everybody, welcome to the Fairy Vibrant Makeup channel. Today I wanted to do more or less these things that I have found at my store. I'm so excited. Found these at my store. I saw it on Instagram and my boss said it's actually in the back and I'm like, oh my god, I need those. So what these are, and it's actually right up my alley, these are called, it's from LA Girl, and they're called Pro Color Mixing Pigments. So they have 4 different shades. I know this is like, why would you want yellow? You have to wait. So I bought all of them because I do a lot of Halloween looks, and you probably saw me use one of these in one of my videos. I will link that down below because I was so excited I couldn't contain myself. I wouldn't use necessarily this one so much in regular makeup, but this one for sure for color correcting. It does work really, really nice. It's very, very orange. So this is the orange shade, and these retail for $8.99. Not bad. I used to always get the LA Girl white makeup, the white one, and I've used it on a lot of Muerto makeups. I've used it on a lot of my Halloween looks. So they have the white pigment as well. So this, what they are designed to do is they're supposed to be added to your foundation to create a custom color. Now, I have had some success in finding a good foundation. I have found my all-time favorite foundation is the NARS Radiant Longwear, the Radiant Full Coverage one. That one retails for $49, but I usually get it for a little bit less because I work at Ulta. But it's perfect. Fiji is my color. It's perfect. It matches me really nice. However, I have a hard time finding other colors. And currently right now I've been using Buff Bisque from Wet n Wild because I don't want to open up my backup. And I've been mixing it in with the Dream Liquid so it's not as drying. And I like the combination. It's actually a really good combination, but I can't repurchase this. This was a clearance item for $2.99. And then I do have another one that I thought could lighten my foundation, but honestly it's too pink, and this is Porcelain Ivory. It's way too pink for me, so I don't know if I'll be using that. But I did get a backup of the one, and this is the shade Sandy Beige. It's just too dark for me, as you could tell. It's way too dark. So, and then this one is way too pink. So, and this is supposed to be a neutral base. So I usually go for more yellow bases just because I'm more olive, yellow undertone, and I find that Fiji is that perfect match. It's just repurchasing that constantly is a bit much. And I know, I'm like, why did I buy all 4 of these? That's probably the cost of one of my foundations. I go through that foundation very quickly, and I feel like this would be nice for Halloween because then I can really help jazz up my looks, or really use these straight on, because if you saw my last video, which I'm linking down below, you saw how orange this was. This is mega orange. So you have the orange shade, the white shade, the yellow shade. This is to make your foundation more golden. This one is going to be, I feel like it could be really nice for under the eyes if you want to block out, you know, some darkness. I don't really have that as much as I used to, but this is really nice for adding more yellow tone. And then you have the foundation mixing pigment in blue. So this is to cool off your foundation if you feel like it's too yellow. This, I feel like I could do a lot with it for Halloween. That's why I wanted it. I would stay clear. Actually, I would have stayed clear of these if I were using it for every day. But these are definitely going to be in my Halloween makeup kit because I really wanted to do that. And I might do some fantasy looks before Halloween because I really got inspired by my last video to really, really try and step out of my comfort zone. Not really do so much palette videos, but do a little bit more variety as far as like finding that perfect outlet for me to be creative. So yeah, I'm very excited. I really wanted these so badly. I know for sure I'm going to be using the white to lighten this one up. But if I were to use this one, I'm going to probably yellow it up a little bit more. So I'm going to be using these two today. I will do swatches of these so you can see how pigment they are. You saw in my last video, they were pretty pigmented. They were super pigmented. So definitely I had a little bit. I'm actually going to try another product along with you guys. I want to do a separate video, but it's just I wanted to do this all together. So give it a few pumps here. This is interesting. It seems more like it looks like the bottles from the matte formula. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a little bit more matte. Sorry, it's taking me a little bit to pump these in my hand. All right. There are the 4 shades right there. As you can see, super pigmented. Even when you blend it out, look how yellow that is. Super, super yellow and full coverage. Look at that. The white is super full coverage. The blue is super full coverage. Whoops, I mixed the blue in there. The blue, and then I just totally mixed them together, but there's the orange. Let me get a, I did not mean to mix the white with the blue. Let me get the blue by itself so you can see it in all its glory. The blue seems a little bit more sheer. I feel like that one is more of a gel formula, but those other ones are super pigmented and they're super matte. So I feel like they're going to be super intense. I like that the blue's a little bit more subtle because then you can really mix that in with your foundation and not have to worry. I'm just wondering. By itself, see, you can't really see it. The blue is very gel-like. And there's the white. As you can see, the white is more pigmented. And then let's go ahead and do the yellow. Super pigmented. Look at that. All right, so, and I'm just kind of just swatching them how I would color match. Of course, I'd use a brush or a sponge, but since these are mine, I'm not going to use that. But see, look. The blue, you can, it turns invisible. And then the orange, that one has some serious kick. Look how orange that is. And that's just swatching it. So there's just 2 swatches. There's the yellow, the orange, the blue, which you can't see, and then the white. So out of all of them, the blue is definitely going to be more subtle. And I feel like that's going to be more or less a light mixer for the foundation. Now, I need help with my foundation, so I'm going to actually do one side different from the other. I'm going to be using 2 different foundations. I'm going to be using this one and this one, but I'm going to use the yellow with this and the white with this. Prepping my skin, and I'm going to try this out. This is a new Stila not foundation, but primer. This is called the Sheer Illumination Lingerie Souffle Skin Perfecting Base Primer. Holy crap, that's a lot. It comes in this gorgeous jar. Look at that jar. I bought it along with this, so I kind of wanted to try them all together just to see. And then it's like really, really cooling, and it's like a very light mousse feel, and it's cool. Like as soon as it touches your skin, it's cool. So this is supposed to illuminate a little bit more. Oh, I love the way it feels. Because I did it on my hand and I was like, oh my lord, that feels amazing. I need to have it. So that way I have the same primer on. I've been needing something a little bit more refreshing on my skin. Usually I use Cover FX, the, what is it called? The blurring primer. But I feel like in the winter it's a little bit drying for me, so I have to go a little bit more hydrating. This one does feel hydrating, but it kind of has like a satin feel to it. Not bad. Alright, so now let's get into the mixing. First, this guy is way too pink for me. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand. And I really don't have a reference right now, but usually Fiji is my reference. But I'm going to just put a tiny pump of the yellow. Tiniest pump, like seriously, like the tiniest pump. So that much. And then I'm going to get my Beauty Blender, which, yeah, it's had a rough day today. And I'm going to mix it in. It's a little dark, so let's get more of this. So I got like at least four little spatula scoops out, and then a drop of that. I'm going to do a drop of the white. It's literally that much. Mix them together. That looks way better. Do you see it? That's actually a perfect match. I know I was doing it on the wrong one. I was swatching here. See how dark that is there? And now it's my color. So I'm going to do the same. I need a little bit more foundation. I'm like running low on this guy, and I always fly through these. They're only $4.99, so they're not bad for like a cheap option, especially if you have oily skin like me. But I'm just doing one pump of each color. A little less on the yellow. And then just mixing it, just like pouncing my Beauty Blender in there and mixing it. So I'm just going to do this side. And it's perfect. Look at that. And you know what the cool thing is? It doesn't distort the foundation. Oh my gosh, my skin looks glorious. Look at that. It matches perfect. But I always take it down the jawline just to kind of blend it, but it's perfect. Not too light, not too dark. Alright, so I'm going to wipe off my hand to use this foundation, and I'm going to do, I know I said I was going to use the yellow for this one, and the yellow for that one, and the white for this one, but I feel like I need, and I'm doing 3 pumps, I need to use both, because I'm going to use a white to lighten it. I'm going to use a tiny, tiny drop of the yellow, just like that, to see if I can match the shade to the other side. I went a little bit too ham on the yellow, so it doesn't need that much yellow. So this foundation can be adjusted more on the white side. That looks pretty good. A little light, but not bad. A little bit too much with the white, but it's not bad. And I'm going to test to see how this primer is going to hold up with both types of foundations. I feel like this is too light, so I'm going to go on with another layer. So I'm just do one pump, one tiny pump of the white, and the tiny, tiny pump of the yellow. Like tiny, just a drop. A little bit more yellow, but it's not bad. This is almost close to Fiji. Fiji's very yellow on me, but it's not too yellow. It doesn't make me look like I have jaundice. Actually, this is the perfect shade for me. Really, really good. Okay, so I will, the coverage is not distorted at all because usually coverage on this one is very light and then this one is more full coverage. So I can see some of my dark spots coming up a little bit more, but I kind of wanted to wipe off my forehead really quick. I have a lot of dark spots on my forehead because I constantly break out on my forehead, but I'm going to show you, and I did this in my last video, what the orange does. So I'm going to take a tiny bit, because I know I used too much, tiny bit of the orange, got you zoomed in. As you can see, I broke out right here, so now it's just dark spots. So I'm going to put this on top as a color corrector. And then here, I just got a massive pimple right there. I don't know what's going on with my forehead. So this, see how intense that is? It's major color correction for sure. Pump of this, and I'm going to color correct because I do have just a small amount of darkness under my eyes, so I'm just going to go with a small amount of this to kind of color correct. And I know that's super orange. So if you're, and I feel like this is great for color correcting like 5 o'clock shadows and really, really dark marks. I feel like this is perfect for that. I know this looks intensely weird. Oh, I went a little too heavy on this side, but it blends beautifully, like it really does. All right, so now I'm going to go back in with my Wet n Wild foundation. I know this is a lot. Pump of the white, pump of the yellow, and then mix. Ooh, I went a little too ham on the yellow. I kind of want to mix a little bit of the blue in there just to see what it does. Really doesn't do much. I do notice that it shears out the foundation just a smidge. And I'm going to go on top and cover that orange up. I know I have to do this cocktail. It's kind of annoying to do this cocktail every time because I don't remember exactly what I did. But look at that, covers up really, really nice. This can definitely be a tattoo cover-up. Like the orange. Look at that. I'm going to try that later. So I'm going to finish the rest of my face off camera because I don't want this video to be too lengthening. I want you guys to kind of get a sense of what I'm doing, and that way you can see if you really, really want to try these. On their own, I feel like these are excellent for Halloween. Sorry, I'm putting another layer of my satin foundation. I want to see if it covers this. Since this is a sheer foundation, it kind of has that orange peeking through, but not awful. Alright, so now that I've put enough layers of foundation on, I'm going to do the rest of my, I'm going to finish up my foundation, and I'm going to put my concealer on over the orange, and then I'm going to do a tattoo cover-up. Right now that I've finished my makeup, I'm actually thoroughly impressed that it didn't really distort anything, any problems with my foundation, and even setting it, there was no problem. So now I'm going to actually do a tattoo cover-up. I think I might do this tattoo. That way you can see, because it has more black and dark tones in it, if it truly, that orange truly does cover it up. So let's try it out. Alright, so there's the tattoo cover-up. It's going to take some time. I feel like that orange is really, really heavy, so it did cover up the dark tones in my tattoo. It takes a lot of finesse to cover up tattoos, so I probably would need just a lighter color foundation or concealer. I did set it though, so I might go over with another concealer. And the Kat Von D one I like because it does have some nice tones in it that'll match up my skin. And see, as you layer it, you'll have to set it, layer, set it. That's the trick of tattoo cover-up. It's a lot of work, but honestly, if you're looking for a nice, look at that. If you're looking for a nice orange tone to block out the black tones in your tattoo, this definitely can do the job, and it's only $8.99. So I feel like it does cover up my tattoo almost entirely. It's just finding that concealer, which I feel like the Kat Von D concealer does really good, but if you want a full coverage concealer, the Shape Tape will do as well. Alright, so that's the end of my video. I took off my cover up because I didn't want to get it all over my work clothes, but honestly, I really like them. The blue is going to be the one that I'm not so sure about because it's so sheer. It is just like a gel formula. I mean, you don't want it to be too blue, but honestly, I would not use this for Halloween looks because look, it disappears on my hand. It's not very pigmented like the other ones are. The white one works really well, and I feel like I'm going to use this a ton for like skull makeup or any kind of other makeup. I feel like this one is definitely going to be the one that I will repurchase along with the yellow. I feel like the yellow is going to be nice for any pink toned. I know it's really hard to find pink toned or yellow toned foundation, so that one is a nice one to add if you're more olive like me. And the orange is great for tattoo cover up and you're not getting a tiny little concealer. I know a lot of people when they come in to get tattoo cover-ups, they're always like, well, I hear Dermablend is really good. It is extremely good. However, here's my thing with it. It's not necessarily, it has a little bit of color corrector in it, but it's not necessarily a good color corrector. Like, it doesn't have the opacity that you would need from a color corrector. If you're going to cover up tattoos, it is not enough. If you're going to cover up, I feel like if you're going to cover up like scarring and dark spots, yes, it could do, but it's a little on the heavy side. If you want to just kind of discolor, like cover up the varicose veins, that can work as well. But I feel like for tattoos, you need a lot more. So I feel like that one is not necessarily for that, and I know a lot of people don't like buying a tattoo, like a color corrector plus the concealer, but honestly, if you're going to get good ones, I would recommend the a cheap color corrector that I think could work everywhere would be the orange one from the LA Girl, which is $8.99, and then a full coverage concealer, which I haven't quite found one in the drugstore side, but the Shape Tape is one of those that is very, very full coverage, and if you just put this guy on, set it with Airspun, which is only $5.97 at Walmart, and then put the Shape Tape on top, set it, you'll have a full tattoo cover-up. So definitely will use that for tattoo cover-up. We'll definitely use these with my foundation to really get that customized color that I would want. And the blue, I don't know. I'm going to keep it just because I'm like, what can I do with you? I could probably make, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with the blue. But the blue is supposed to cool your color a little bit more, but I feel like it just does absolutely nothing because it's so light. It's gel-like, and I don't like it. So definitely I am excited about these and to use these in like some fantasy makeup or some future Halloween looks for sure. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it was educational for you. I really did like the way it didn't distort my foundation. By the way, this primer is super nice. So far so good. It's not creasing. It's not causing it to dry out. So I definitely, if you're looking for a good kind of like cooling souffle light feeling primer, this is a primer to probably pick up. It is $36, which isn't bad because it's in a heavy jar. It's actually very, very good. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope it was informative. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you